Sorry about that, guys. I thought we might have made it in that last video, but I've literally got about 4 slides left, which is a bit annoying. So sorry that again that it's got to be in 4 different chunks. But I suppose it splits it up for you if you maybe do want to do a video at a time kind of thing. So this one will be a lot shorter than the last two. So where I left you, where it cut me off, was I just asked you whether or not you think this is an independent if this is an independent service, this example. So a mother hiring a childminder to look after her daughter. So the answer is yes. As she would have to pay for a childminder, and it is a service that is provided for a fee, it therefore makes it an independent service as it is not free, basically, and it's not someone volunteering to do it. So yes, if it's childminder that needs charging, a childminder that charges for their service, it is an independent service. I hope they all made sense. So to give you a better summary of informal care, so informal care may be given by family, friends, neighbours, or members of the local community. This type of care may be provided for a short time. For example, if someone is recovering from an illness and cannot look after themselves properly yet, a neighbour may offer to help them. It can also be long term. So, for example, a family member looking after an elderly parent or grandparent so they do not have to go into a care home. So, some of you might be informal carers really without really knowing. For example, it might have certainly happened during this delightful COVID-19. It certainly has become long term for me. So, for example, I had grandparents that were shielding, so could not go out to do a supermarket shop. As I'm sure you probably all know, online shopping was a nightmare to begin with. So, I suppose you could argue that me and my mum kind of became informal carers to my grandparents as we went to do the shopping for them every week. And we still do at the minute. So, yeah, this might have come about during COVID-19, or you might have been an informal carer before. Maybe you had a neighbour that you'd go and pick up some milk and bread for, or, a friend who you'd go and help maybe look after their kids from time to time if they needed to go out, that kind of thing. Although it might just seem like you're doing a favour, that does all class as informal care. So I've now got this little video for you to watch. So, as that video pointed out to you, it was kind of highlighting that often informal carers can kind of get not pushed aside as such, but sometimes don't get the right care that they need, because being an informal carer can be very difficult. I mean, I suppose I can't complain. I've only been doing the shopping for my nan, but it can be quite hard having to run around and do things for someone else as well as trying to look after yourself and maybe your family and things like that. So the NHS England basically developed this resource pack to be able to highlight how to be, not how to be a good informal carer, but kind of to recognise the signs that maybe you aren't doing so well, or you are struggling. So it is important for informal carers to kind of get help that they need as well as supporting other people. So having those resource packs will certainly have helped informal carers be able to get the access to help that they need. I am aware that me screencasting this PowerPoint means you may not have heard that video, so I will give you the link if I can find it and put it in the email to you in case it didn't play through this. Sorry if it didn't. I didn't realise that might have been a thing, so we'll see how we get on. If it did work, great, but I'll send it just in case. So, why do we think informal care is important? So, informal care is very important as it means that people do not always have to use statutory services, such as hospitals, which can sometimes become too full. It also means that anyone who cannot afford to pay for independent services can still be cared for. So, for example, kind of when, I mean, obviously at the minute it's a completely different circumstances, but in years gone by, should I say, when maybe flu season has come about, there might have been a limit of beds in hospitals, which means that maybe some people that thought, oh, well, no, I don't need to go into hospital, I'm fine, or maybe they called up to get into hospital and said, sorry, we ain't got any beds for you, we're full. Having that informal care, having someone who can come and look after you if you maybe, I mean, obviously, where possible, hospital is the best place to be, but maybe for some reason you can't get in, for the examples I've just said, having informal care makes sure that they can still be cared for at home, kind of thing, or somewhere other than a hospital. So informal care is very important in that respect, that people can still get the care they need from very nice people who are offering their time for free. Also, on the other side of that, being not able to get into somewhere like a hospital, so a statutory service that you should be able to access that you can't, it also means that if, for example, an NHS hospital says they're full, you then contact a private hospital and say, oh yeah, we've got room for you, but it's £700 a night. And, Ethel, who's 83 next door, can't afford £700 a night for a bed in a private hospital. Having informal carers means those who can't afford those independent services can still be cared for. So that's why informal care is so important. So why is it important that informal carers seek the help that they may need? I've already answered that question, so I won't say it again, but just a quick summary. They may struggle with their own health needs, and at home, if they're looking after Ethel and their family and kids and maybe someone else, it's good for their own mental well-being as well as their own physical health, that they'll need to seek help as well. And that is the end of this PowerPoint. So thank you very much for bearing with me. I'm hoping you've all been able to access this okay. And I'm hoping you now should be able to finish or get on with your assignment. So I'll also send that across to you as well. If you have got any questions, as always, just drop me an email. If there's anything you were stuck on, let me know. I may also try and organise a Google Meet, which I know you've not done before, but I have got some instructions I can send out. So I'm going to send those anyway and let you know. And then you can always jump on a Google Meet with me so we can look at each other face to face. Or if you want to turn your camera off, you can. And we can talk through any questions you may have. Of course, you can also talk through any questions with me when any of this work that we do over the next few days, when you come back in on Thursday, and we can talk through anything maybe you didn't understand. But I'm hoping that's all clear enough. And of course, you can come back to these videos and watch them as many times as you like. So yes, don't just watch them the once if you're stuck. Come back to them and refer back to them where you can. Okay, thank you very much, and good luck.